Hello Kaiju fans, welcome back to the Kaiju World Order. My name is MM, and this is just going to be a review of episode 7 of Ultraman Teo. It debuted last week on YouTube, and yeah, the link will be in the channel, or not the channel, but the video description below. But before we get into it here, the episode itself, I am really liking the effects and the actual fighting of the monster and the hero. There's some really unique stuff going on just in this episode alone, which I'll get into by the end of it. But everything else, I remember in episode 1 several weeks ago, I said about if you can get past the new generation bullshit to enjoy these series, it's possible. This is putting that to the test. Slowly but surely, I have started to absolutely despise every single cast member of this series except for Ibuki himself. The characters in this series are ranking right up there with those in Ultraman Rube and Ultraman Trigger as some of the most god-awful, obnoxious characters in tokusatsu I have ever seen. And this isn't just some, oh, well, I hate New Gen, because I actually don't. There's a lot of New Gen I really like. Blazer I liked, Arc was okay, Omega I liked. It's just, there's no excuse for how bad these characters are, and I'll get into that here during the actual review of the episode. But before I dog on everything, I wanted to just highlight that I am liking the monster action in this series. I'm liking the effects, I'm liking the camera angles. Ibuki himself, I'm liking the Ultra. It's just everything else is just so muddled in bullshit. So let's just get right onto it here with the review. The episode picks right up after the end of the last. Who would have guessed? This is a two-parter based series and all. Pucci, having witnessed and felt the need to protect others, tapped into its own monstrous abilities and became a giant. It protected Ultraman Teo from the new bird kaiju, and it fired a beam at the monster. Then, realizing it was totally outmatched, the bird flew away and left Pucci to return to normal and Teo to revert to his human form. The city was damaged, and there is this really cool shot over the town showing where the monsters were fighting. But now, the episode begins to fizzle out. Suddenly, the redhead is afraid of Pucci because she saw it grow big. They decide to leave the area before the mysterious woman in black and Professor Poop find them. I'm still not sure why they're so afraid of the professor and this woman from finding Pucci, despite the fact that they now know it can actually turn giant. Maybe I'm looking too far into this because, as we'll soon find out, writing shit that makes sense is not this series' forte. So they eventually move Pucci into its new home, and there, the redhead continues to whine about being afraid of Pucci. We get this scene of them talking to her and explaining to this grown-ass university student about why she shouldn't be afraid of Pucci, because it was defending her. Ibuki then reveals his discovery that Pucci mimics the actions and feelings of those around it. So when the redhead was afraid of it, it was also afraid of her. This is how they realized that the little thing tapped into their feelings and desires to protect in order to grow big and fight alongside Teo. Meanwhile, the woman in black and Poop Man continue to search for the alien and search the astrology club. They find nothing. But back at the old warehouse, it seems Japan has a straight-up Dr. Dolittle app that will allow them to communicate with animals. Imagine actually having this type of tech on hand at any given moment. So with it, they learn Pucci is hungry and get more of those big-ass wheels of bread Japan calls donuts. And then Ibuki finds evidence that the same place once housed the bird monster. It seems a scientist lady had found the egg and decided to hatch it. And when it got too big, she left it to its own. Because you know, it is a kaiju, a wild kaiju that is capable of surviving on its own in the natural world, with every other kaiju that exists on Earth this series takes place on. Great writing. Crazy Cat Man is especially offended that the lady who was researching the bird let it go when it got too big. When the monster did what monsters do and grew too big, she moved on with her life thinking the bird would be fine. Because it's a bird, they live in the wild all the time. Cat Man was especially pissed about her so-called abandonment of the monster after she refused to help a bunch of annoying college kids chase after a city-destroying monster. But hey, the redhead finally figured out her feelings for Pucci after it gave her a bread wheel. Then the bird attacked again, and we got this really nice scene of some drones flying into attack. CGI drones again, but the scene of it blasting them out of the sky was really nice. So Ibuki thinks the bird imprinted on the lady and then used the Dr. Dolittle app to translate the bird's cries, and it was calling for its mom. She continued to refuse because this idea is idiotic, and you can tell Catman just couldn't believe the audacity of someone not wanting to bet their life on an animal translation app and being guilt-tripped. Poochie was willing to protect the girls, but Redhead hid behind Poochie and ruined the whole mood, so that didn't happen. But Ibuki then returned and turned into Teo. And now for the good stuff. I really like Teo's shield effect. He used his shield to not only protect himself from the energy attacks, but linked several shields together until the bird was contained in a cage-like structure. You get it? A bird cage. This was a really cool, unique plan that worked for a few until it broke out, and without any choice, Teo prepared to fire his finisher ray, but Catman to the rescue, he managed to bring the bird's researcher. She communicated in human language to a giant monster that she couldn't look after it, because you know it's a giant monster. And crazy Catman just looked at her in disgust, laying on the guilt-tripping more, and telling the monster not to ever come back because its mom no longer cares about it and it needs to find its own. The monster flew away before he could even finish talking, and that's all it took. No convincing, no final battle, just that. Great fucking writing. Oh, and as for the cats, you see the Catman was babysitting those cats. He was told their owner was going on a business trip, but no, they were actually going on vacation to Hawaii. And when he realized that, he just couldn't have any of it. So Catman stole the man's cats and took them as his own. Or at least that's how I'm assuming it went, since he only says he took them. Someone tries to take my dog because I go on a vacation for a week or two. One of us is going in the hospital, so I'd love to know actually how that played out. So anyway, then on a dark road, the woman in black finds a big hog monster. I'm told Americans want to elect it into the Oval Office in 2028. And then end credit. The next episode is a recap, and yay. So yeah, that was episode 7. It was, well, it sucked. Straight up, it sucked just like last week's episode sucked. Just like last week when I said I had a little bit of hope for that last character, this one just even solidified it even more on how much I utterly hate this character. There are some saying that it's probably going to be revealed that he was abandoned as a child or something, and that's going to be his big character arc, and I don't care. I just straight up don't care about any of these characters. I don't care why any of them are the way they are. Every single one is annoying. Every single one is the same. They're all interchangeable. The only character here that matters is Ibuki. They could just get rid of everything else and it'd be fine. So, I don't know if I'm going to do a review of the recap episode or not. It's going to depend if it's more of, like, you know, a plot-heavy recap, or if it's just a character sitting around on their thumbs just talking about prior events. I don't know yet. So, till next time, Kaiju fans, peace out, and Minya, take it away.
Zilla says you should like and subscribe.